Hello, folks. Welcome back to The Slice. It's late here on the West Coast, but I have to drop in and give The Slice because it was a big day in Indian Wells. Obviously, the biggest thing that happened was Novak Djokovic getting upset by Philip Kohlschreiber, the old vet. We're going to look into that, see what happened, and also investigate a bunch of other upsets that happened today and check in on the action of Federer and Nadal and how Fadal, the matchup we're all wanting, is looking more and more likely as the days go on. So here's the slice, and let's get into it.
Welcome to the Slice.
Hi guys, welcome to the Slice.
Thanks for checking in, folks, and tuning in. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And if you didn't know, the Slice is going to Miami. In 1 week exactly, I'll be dropping in to give live coverage from the tournament. I got a media pass this year, which is so sick. And I want to thank all of you for watching and supporting and helping me get here. So I'm going to be traveling there, getting in, the press conference rooms and hopefully getting courtside and seeing some of these players. The endless possibilities are there. With Djokovic out early, maybe he'll be there early, relax, and we could do an interview. I don't know. What do you guys want to see me do? But if you want to help me, support me get there, sign up for the Slice Front Row, which is our show that we do over on Patreon, which right now they're having some problems with it. But you should be able to sign up here in the next day or two. So if you could consider subscribing for $4 a month, you can help us get to these tournaments and stuff. But anyways, there's all the information on that page. But what we got to get to is what has happened at Indian Wells today. So basically, the upsets today was Kohlschreiber defeating Djokovic, and we'll get into that. But we also had Hurkacz defeating Nishikori, so that's big on the top half of the draw as well. Shapovalov defeating Cilic, which isn't like a massive upset, but it still is. And then Shapovalov, after his win, did one of the most cringeworthy rapping sessions I've ever seen in my life. And for fear of copyright, just go check it out on the Instagram page at the Slice Tennis. And let me know what you think there. But yeah, it's good that he's a great tennis player. We'll just leave it at that. And then Filip Krajinovic defeated Nadal Medvedev, so clearing up Nadal's path even more than it was to get to Federer. So first things first, Djokovic versus Kohlschreiber. Now, I did not see much of this match, but I saw some other reactions to it, and I saw some of the highlights, and it appears to me that Djokovic was off, that there's no way that this was his peak level, not even close. He was not getting – what I saw from the highlights was his balls were just dropping short. He wasn't moving. He was frustrated. He was not mentally clicked in. He looked tired, so that's weird. I know it was obviously probably hot middle of the day, but Djokovic – and in the past, in his younger years, Djokovic has actually had problems with heat and fatigue and things like that, but he's been pretty much a beast lately and been super consistent. But it's kind of like if he's super off like he was today, running into a guy like Kohlschreiber who basically brings it every time. And, he's a top 30 player. He's not going to be blowing people off the court, but he does enough to really punish you. I feel like if you leave balls short and you don't play well and you don't play your game, he's not gonna lessen his game. I think he steps up to the task. So Kohlschreiber basically brought his game and did what he had to do. And then because Djokovic was down, I think that's why the upset happened. But all credit to Kohlschreiber. Still was tight, 6-4, 6-4, but he held in when he needed to, and that is a big deal. Djokovic losing in the third round at Indian Wells, I was kind of thinking as I was like, that's an upset. That's not that big of a deal, but it kind of is. Well, it definitely is, because looking forward after the Australian Open, you're like, okay, Novak Djokovic has won the last 3 majors. He's been in basically the final of every tournament. How could he be stopped? So now you can't look at it like it's a big deal. Indian Wells is like a Masters 1000, first one of the year. Next is Miami, and then it's the clay. So it's not the end of the world for him by any means. It's not like it's the third round of a major, but still is as far as his confidence going into these future tournaments, I think, and players' confidence coming to play him. Now if you're another top 30 guy seed and you see that last tournament, old Philip Kohlschreiber got a handle of the old Joker and beat down him. He didn't beat down on him, but he beat him. You got a little bit more confidence going in there, and any pro tennis player who has good amount of confidence going into something is going to do pretty well. So I think that's a big deal for the old hierarchy of tennis. Djokovic going down in the third round in kind of amazing fashion. So good on Kohlschreiber. We saw Federer and Stan the Man play today, and Stan the Man didn't look his best. He was shanking a lot of balls. Federer played pretty solid and just took it to him. Kind of went the way that I thought it would, but you never knew. Maybe we'd be in for an epic. Maybe we'd be in for a more routine win. by Federer, which is what we saw. And Fed looked great. I thought he looked pretty solid. These slower courts, they're obviously like it's worse for Federer because it's like, he likes fast court. But at the same time, if it's a slower court, Federer has more time with each shot. And yeah, he's a pretty good shot maker if you haven't noticed. And if he has more time, I don't see how that could always hurt him. So he's going to be better at returning, and that helps his whole game. And his serve's still just going to be just as good. I don't think this slow serve is really slow or hurts his serve because his is more about placement than just like power. So yeah, that's going to be the same. And then his shot making will be great. I think the biggest difference is, or what the biggest effect the court's going to have is if Federer and Nadal play, which is looking very, very likely now because Nadal's only lost 6 games in the last 2 matches. He's absolutely destroyed Schwartzman today, and he destroyed, I forget who he played yesterday, or it was yeah, I forget who he played, but I could look it up. But that doesn't matter right now because he won 6-1, 6-1. So he's cruising, and yeah, he's kind of getting slept on in the bottom there, I thought, because I said he did have the easiest draw, which is true. So I guess it's gone to plan so far. Medvedev lost. Isner's still in. So that could be an issue for him. I think he plays Isner in the quarterfinals and then would play Federer in the semis. So that'll be tougher for him, but I still think he's going to get through. So I think the court speed will help Federer and Nadal, just because they're the better player in all these matchups. But then when they come together, it's going to definitely favor Nadal. But we'll see because, I don't know how it's going to go. I want you to tell me how you think it's going to go when Federer and Nadal match up, and if they do. But right now, the top half of this draw is absolutely wide open because Zverev's out, Djokovic is out. So right now, this is the top half of the draw. We got Kohlschreiber versus Monfils, Karlovic versus Thiem, Struff versus Raonic, Nishioka versus Semenovic from Serbia. Don't even know who that is, but one of those guys will be in the final of Indian Wells. The only guy that wouldn't be that surprising is Raonic, but that's still surprising. So interesting times down at Indian Wells. Not going to plan as far as the Djokovic train rolling on, but some exciting tennis has happened for sure. If you want to see the most cringeworthy rap I've ever seen in my life, go to the Slice Tennis Instagram account. And if you can support us get to Miami, check out the Patreon page, The Slice Front Row. Join the Front Row fam. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Keep it locked here for the next couple weeks because lots of content will be coming. And follow me on Instagram for more like day-to-day updates from the Miami Open. Thanks for your support. Love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, folks. If you want to be the best tennis fan that you can be, hit the subscribe button right here and then watch this video for your viewing enjoyment.